invite our community to participate. And so it's going to be a kid-led market. As a matter of fact, one of our students, homeschool students, will be putting this event together. So I'm here to get it going, like make you aware. But this student will be in charge of organizing it, dealing with our vendors, and our if he decides to get sponsors or house, whatever he decides to do, the event will be put together by one of our, the marketing as well, by one of our students. So I just wanted to make you aware of it because we're super excited. So, and we hope, as you see, it's annual young entrepreneurs because we're starting homeschoolers, but I do foresee it being open to just any young entrepreneurs in our city because we have participated in other children's market, and it's just a super neat experience for children to be able to promote their gifts, talents, and it's very, very neat. So I think it's something that we really like bring a lot of life to our city. So I'm excited about this. So that's all I have for you. Thank you.
At this time, reports about community items of interest on which no action will be taken may be given to the public for Chapter 551.0415 of the Government Code. I know, I don't see her, normally lean on her. We're having our chamber banquet, not this Friday, but the next. I'm not sure that date, but it's going to be a week from Friday, the 17th. Okay. And that will be, I believe, at the Oasis over in Heartland. And so that's been a good event. And if you are interested, you can buy a table or come be a part of that. It should be a good night. I'm trying to think what else. David, can you think of anything the city has going coming up?
Yep.
Okay.
And we will post reminders for the citizens on social media so that people can come and bring their the stuff that they need to throw away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone else have anything as far as community interest?
Yeah, since it's spring, grass and weeds are starting to grow, so I'm gonna bring it up. Neighbors helping neighbors. Yeah, you or anybody else in need of assistance mowing your yard, taking care of some odds and ends around your house, please reach out to Jason Brooks or the city or myself, and we'll see what we can do to help you out there.
Okay. Very good. Anyone else have anything? Okay. We'll move on to item number 5, communications from mayor and council. Receive council member requests for future agenda items, current and future items of community interest, and other items of interest regarding the city of Crandall. This is where if you would like to have an item next agenda for our meeting on April 20th, now would be the time to ask for that. So did anyone have anything this evening?
I have a few.
Okay.
Start out with, I was over at River Ridge at their new houses in that addition, where they have their model homes. They have one empty lot that they would like to make a temporary parking lot. It's really dangerous pulling up and down that street. Like to look and see if we can award that, or if not, get it on the agenda for next time to talk about.
Okay.
Then I'd like to get requests that we look into time clocks for City Hall and for our city employees, like the police department, stuff like that. See what the cost of that would be, just to help out with tracking time. And then I'd also would like to go ahead and request that we schedule for May 4th an executive session for our city manager's quarterly review. I don't think we set that up yet. And I also would like to see if we can get the 360 review out before that. And then also in that same executive session, I would just like to put something on there for something about employee communications with the council. And then lastly, our concrete gutters that we put in at the drainage, it's time to clean them. If we can get that done.
Anyone else have? Okay. Very good. We'll move on to item number 6, updates and discussion by the city manager or staff. And I'll have our city manager walk us through that.
Council, I do have some updates for you tonight. There you go. So the first update that I have for you tonight is if we can go to the next slide. There you go. Thank you. So on our efforts on acquiring or applying for grants for the city, we have applied for just a sample of what we are trying to bring to the city. The first one is, so the earmark from our congressman, I know that we attempted to apply for this last year and we were not successful, but this year, Congressman has accepted our request. Is not what we were requesting last year. So Congressman has accepted a request for an earmark of $2.5 million for the Force Main project. Now, what this means is that now the Congressman is going to go fight for the city of Crandall to be able to get this approved through a review committee at a federal level. So that is where that is. This is a great step in the right direction. And we're very excited for this. This is going to help us get that lift station and Force Main implemented and constructed to allow for our the expansion of the sewer capacity for the city. The next grant is the Texas Water Development Board Clean Water Grant. This is a request for $1.2 million. And we submitted this grant, completed the application. It was a very lengthy application. We have made it through some steps in the grant process. By this point, 80% of the applications have been either kicked out or denied. So we're in the 20th percentile. So we're going to keep pushing forward and hopefully we'll be able to get this additional funding. This is also we will utilize these funds to contribute the building of the Force Main and lift station. We have also applied for an EPA water tech grant. EPA has accepted a request for assistance on the Force Main project. What EPA is going to do for the city is going to fully fund the pre-engineering all the way up to the design phase and environmental for the project. And there is no matching contribution for this. So the engineering and the environmental, all that cost $400,000 or $500,000, then the EPA will cover it 100%. We have also applied for a cybersecurity grant. We submitted the application. They came back and asked for additional information. We received some help from our IT person that we contract for the city, and we answer all of their questions. So at this point, we're just waiting to hear back. For this grant, we applied for $56,000. This one does have a matching contribution, which I believe, if I remember correctly, is about $15,000, but it's definitely worth it. This is going to help us secure the city from ransomware attacks and just be able to avoid that. I've lived through a cyber attack at another city where I've worked, and I do not wish that on anybody. It was a nightmare. And the last one is also a Texas Water Board grant, and this is to replace asbestos water lines. The city has requested $2.7 million, and we're also waiting to hear back. This is one that I'm hopeful that they'll be able to approve for the city. And that is the update. And now, this last week, I believe it was last week, we had the opportunity to meet with TxDOT and a few other stakeholders in the community to discuss the service roads going in one direction. Basically, the point that we were trying to make is that if we make both service roads go in one direction, it will create a traffic jam at the intersection of 148 and 175. So we were looking for alternatives to be able to leave, at the very least, a section going two-way. So this is what TxDOT and the city and the other stakeholders have agreed, and this is how. And I'm going to try to describe this very carefully for the people that are not seeing me point this laser. So the north service road 175 this service road is gonna go one way. This is gonna be switched, the time from TxDOT probably this summer. The one thing that we did request is that we try and do it when school is not in session. That way they have time to educate the parents. And so this line, orange line, all the way up to here is gonna go in one direction. The blue dotted line is gonna remain two-way on the south side. So it will be from 740 48. This section of the service road will remain, and this will ensure that citizens and just people who drive through Crandall have another way in and out of the city to avoid traffic congestion. Yes.
Maybe prior to this happening, if it's gonna happen this summer, we need to start getting the word out now. Either through our social media, through the city's website, so we don't take a lot of people by surprise. So,
Mhm.
I mean,
Yes.
I'm start the learning process now,
Yes, sir.
informing process.
And that is a discussion that we had with TxDOT. TxDOT will help advertise this, and it will be a collaborative effort between TxDOT, the city, the school district, even our police department. We will advertise this change before it happens. And
I mean, even to the
yeah.
point of sending stuff home through the students to their parents. And maybe we can reach out to the school district, see if they could help.
yes, yeah, we will definitely make sure that we make a big communicate out this out to the citizens.
They originally said that once it went one day for the traffic.
If the bypass was open and it went one way, they would
Yes.
do a traffic light. That was my question too, Scott. What's,
So that is a great question. And TxDOT, in order, from what we were told at the last meeting that we had, in order for them to be able to add stop lights signals, they need to have turn lanes. They can only add those if there are turn lanes. Now, at the intersection of 148 and 175, there's a developer that is taking on the financial burden to add, which that comes with traffic lights. And we're hoping that TxDOT will approve or bless their proposal and their design so that we can get stoplights at that intersection.
Majority of the accidents at that yield sign,
Yes.
but there's still plenty of accidents at the yield sign on this side, and we're leaving it two directions, so.
At some point, when Eagle Crest Parkway is actually built, that bottom side will flip one way.
Yeah.
But you just can't have everybody on the south side of town
Yeah, well, and
not be able to get onto that 741 bridge. So that's the reason for leaving it two-way.
and stoplights would alleviate some of that traffic there,
Very good. Yes.
the inconsistency.
Yeah. If we can go to
Some
the
people
next
just
slide.
stop forever.
Okay, and to give you an update on the audit is nearly completed. We're wrapping up the last few details and items. The expectation is to have this presented, or for the auditor to come out and present their findings on the April 20th agenda, or upcoming council agenda. And it will be the same as last year. So I wanted to praise our staff who have been working diligently. I know Ms. Karen has just joined the city in the last 3-4 months, and she's taken on a big task, taking on the audit. And it's I know because I went through it last year, and I know how much work it is. And she's been amazing at. She's required very little to no help to be able to get it completed. And we're looking forward for the auditors to come the next council meeting so that we can put it to rest and switch gears into budget. I would like to extend an invitation to all of council. There is a Texas Municipal League Town that will take place on May 21st and 22nd in Bastrop. I had the opportunity to attend the small city conference, TML conference. It's not like anywhere near close as the big TML conference that happens in October. This is for populations of 15,000 or less. I attended last year, and it was a great experience. I could relate better to those attending. It was mostly elected officials. I'm going to be honest, because some of these towns, they don't have a staff like we do in Crandall. And just hearing their stories and, some of the struggles, some of their growing pains that they're going through, they're going to sound very familiar if you guys have the opportunity to attend this. So I just wanted to extend the invitation to everybody. This is a great conference to attend. They have great speakers too. I do have, well, before I move to my last two items, does the council have any questions or comments on anything that I presented so far? Very good. And the mayor beat me to it, so I did have an update to remind everybody about the Crandall Chamber of Commerce banquet. So it will be on Friday, April 17th at 6:30 at the Oasis in Heartland. I hope we can see you all there. If you wouldn't mind just confirming your attendance with Miss Sabrina so that we know how many seats we need to purchase. You can bring your significant other. Everybody's and the council is welcome to attend. And I also want to give our new public works director an opportunity. Today was his first day, so this has been a marathon for him since he got here in the morning, and he has to stay for a council meeting. So his name is Clayton, and I'll give him a couple of minutes for him to introduce himself to the council.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, I'm already beat to that. So we're, I'm starting with no hair. So that's good. My name's Clayton Dickerson. I have the pleasure of starting today. It's been a great first day. Before I start talking about myself, I will, assure the council that, one of the things that stood out today was the organization and, you know, what I've seen obviously in 8 hours of working my first day. I couldn't have started at a better city that had, very good organization and cleanliness and, seems like a very good running staff. So again, this is my first day, but, from what I've seen, I've worked previously at the city of Waxahachie and the city of Venice, Gastonia, Scurry, and, as well as Becker Heba Water Supply, which is where I come from. I've been doing this since I was 18 years old. This is all I know is public works, water and sewer, and so on and so forth. So, I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be here tonight, and to come on board as your public works director. And like I said, I'm going to do everything I can to pick up where Brad left off. And I'm more than lucky to already know Brad before I started here, and just to have him here for a couple weeks before he retires officially is going to be my biggest benefit. So thank you guys. I look forward to hopefully many years to serve you. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just reminded that I missed a couple of bullet points on my updates. So I also wanted to let the council know that as part of our efforts to improve efficiency and the systems that we use, in code for the court system, we had our initial kickoff meeting this month, and that is well underway. And it's going to take, if I remember correctly, the lady that is going to help us with implementation mentioned that it will take around 4 to 6 months, depending on how diligently we work on the implementation. And also another system implementation that we're having is with iWorks. So iWorks is a system used for permitting, code enforcement, planning and zoning, those type of city functions. And we're going to be implementing that. That implementation is not going to take as long. The implementing team, we're going to have our first kickoff meeting first week in May, and it should take about 60 days to have that implemented, which is going to greatly improve the efficiency in that department. Thank you.
On to item 7, we've got 2 proclamations, and I'll come down and do those. The first one will be for our Public Works Director, and then we'll have a proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. So I'll come do those and tell you what, Brad, if you want to make your way up here.
Hey,
We are here today to express recognition to Brad Thompson, honor him for his career with the city of Crandall as a public works director. Whereas Brad has faithfully and conscientiously served the city of Crandall and its citizens during the periods of time, numerous projects were initiated through his leadership, which will continue to have a revitalization and growing impact on the city of Crandall. Whereas these years of service have been marked by exemplary dedication, the best interest of the community, and Brad has worked constantly for the betterment of the Crandall Public Works System, contributes to the health, safety, and comfort of this community. Whereas on behalf of the entire city council, I want to express my sincere appreciation to Brad for his loyalty to the city of Crandall and wish him much happiness as he begins his new chapter of his life. Therefore, I, David Lindsay, Mayor of the city of Crandall, Texas, on behalf of the city council and the residents of Crandall, Texas, hereby proclaim and recognize the retirement of Brad Collins as Public Works Director. We extend our warmest congratulations. Best wishes for a happy, healthy, fulfilling retirement. May his future be filled with the same joy and success he so graciously brought our city. And I will say, we grew up with the city, you know, the challenges we have with water and infrastructure and different things. Brad has been a valuable asset to this. I don't know how much hair he had. Probably looked a lot good, but really gonna miss you. Appreciate all of you.
Can I get a picture?
Brad, I'm keeping your cell phone number and I'm calling you for all kinds of stuff, just let you know. Oh, yeah.
Office of the City of Crandall Proclamation for Child Abuse Prevention Month. In the state of Texas, we believe children thrive in safe, stable, nurturing families within their own community. While it's critical to build a system that supports families when they're in a crisis, intentionally supporting families before they're in a crisis is essential to preventing the abuse and maltreatment of Texas children. Through establishing partnerships with families, we can build strong, healthy families, resilient communities where children can thrive. Each year, the month of April is dedicated to recognizing the critical work being done across our great state to support families before a crisis occurs. Child abuse prevention occurs every day through the diligent work and tireless advocacy taken by Texas families, friends, neighbors, housing and faith, advocacy groups, nonprofit organizations, schools, healthcare providers, social workers, government agencies, to support children, families, every community, of every community. Some of those agencies in our community include the Kaufman County Department of Family and Protective Services, Empower, Kaufman County Children's Advocacy Center, Kaufman County Child Welfare Board, Lone Star CASA, REACH, Child Placing Agency, Normal Shelter Foundation, and Conscious. Child abuse prevention cannot be tasked to one community, agency, or system. Behind many families that succeeded, it's a strong community that has provided a way for the family to be self-sufficient, stable, and thriving. I encourage all Texans to learn more about the many aspects of our communities working hard to create positive, healthy environments for the future leaders of our great state and nation. Together, we can create a brighter future for our children, families, and communities in Texas. I'm sure tomorrow's leaders have the support they need to thrive in this future. Therefore, I, David Lindsay, Mayor on behalf of the City of Crandall, to hear about proclaim April 2026 to Child Abuse Prevention Month in the City of Crandall, Texas, Kaufman County, and urge the appropriate recognition thereof. Coffin County is a rural little county where nothing bad ever happens. Unfortunately, growth is changing that, but um, we do have a lot of need in Coffin County. And so if you would like to get involved in helping our kids, there's plenty of need. So I would encourage you to do that. So, all right, we'll move on to item number 8, the consent agenda. All of the following items on the consent agenda. I'm going to skip that paragraph. We have 4 items on the consent agenda this evening. Item A is to consider an act on approval of city council minutes from March the 2nd, 2026. Item B, that's right, we had that little special meeting. Item B, consider an act on approval of city council minutes from March 24th, 2026. Item C, consider an act on approving resolution number 04062026, authorizing membership in the Atmos City Steering Committee and authorizing the payment of 4 cents per capita to the Atmos City Steering Committee to fund regulatory and related activities related to the Atmos Energy Corporation. And then item D, consider an act on approving resolution number 04062026A, adopting an electronic signature and electronic seal policy, providing for related matters and providing an effective date. You should have a copy of those minutes in your packets. Hopefully you've had a chance to review those. David, I don't need you to say a whole lot, but the Atmos steering, this is something we do. We partner with other communities. We renew this every year, and we're part of a group that acts on our behalf to try to keep our rates down with Atmos and negotiate with them. That's item C. And then item D, I read through a little bit of that. Why don't you give us just some of the, I know these are for items less than $100,000. Give us some of the guardrails, I'll say, on what this electronic signature policy will have. And I don't mean to put you on the spot.
Yeah. So basically what it is just to be able to modernize our efforts. Right now, the way that city secretary is essentially putting a seal or approving any official records for the city, she's doing all of that manually, literally putting a stamp on a document for any ordinance or anything that is approved by the city council. So what this will allow city secretary to be able to do some of those same functions, but electronically.
So examples would be ordinance, resolutions, contracts, and minutes. From my understanding, sorry, I don't have the policy in front of me. But it would allow that, and I'm working with Melita on finalizing the electronic city seal to be able to allow to utilize that, because as David mentioned, I use a stamped one currently. So in the event it better helps signatures if in the absence of anybody, and I can send those electronically.
So you're not just trying to write yourself checks.
No.
Okay. Just kidding. All right. Anybody have any questions on any of the 4 items under the consent agenda?
To approve item C and D and abstain from A and B.
Okay. I've got a motion to approve, and your abstention will be during the vote, correct, Judy? If his motion includes,
The items A and B
okay,
on the minutes.
okay.
So you,
Somebody needs to approve A and B.
Yeah,
you
I've got a
need-
motion on C and D. Can I get a second on that? I got a second on that. Can we do 2 separate votes? Is that okay?
Correct.
Okay, so let's take the vote on C and D. All those in favor? Okay. Now, if I can get a motion on items A and B. I've got a motion from Adam and a second from Caleb. All those in favor? Okay, and abstaining, maybe Scott. Okay. All right, very good. Let's move on to item number 9. Presentation by Schaumburg and Polk, the engineering regarding the South Streets and drainage rehabilitation for the city of Crandall.
City manager? Okay. Have this done. My name is Matt Alonso. Good to see you folks again. I'm from Schaumburg and Polk, and we're here to talk about the South Street and drainage improvements. just north of us, or it's actually south of us. This evening, I'm just going to talk about the project location, discuss the existing conditions, some proposed improvements we're going to do, and the schematic costs. As you see here, okay, so the city of Crandall's there in the star. The streets highlighted in magenta, that's considered our north streets. On the bottom there in the goldenrod, that's considered our south streets. The next slide here, we're just taking a closer look at the north streets between Morrow and Maury. We decided not to do improvements in this location because currently you folks have a contract for improvements on Maury Street here, which is going to be a concrete pavement curb and gutter with a closed storm drainage system. So because of those improvements, we thought that the benefit would be better observed in the south streets. And as you can see here in the yellow or goldenrod. This is the map just tilted on its side. The reason for this map is because currently you folks have a drainage system that's in this red line that runs from north to south on First Street, and there's a 42-inch reinforced concrete outfall there. So this project in the south is to utilize that drainage improvement, and we wanted to improve the drainage on Church and Vanston, as well as Gleason, connecting to, in the next slide, it'll show you what we're connecting to, these drop inlets. So at each of those cross streets, we have these drop inlets, and their proposed improvements are going to connect to this existing feature there. Okay, so this is just an existing view of the pavement on Church. As you can see, I'm just going to go through these slides. It's an asphalt pavement, which is about 20 feet wide with bar ditches. I'm finding something. Okay, let's go back. Okay, this is another view on Vanston. Again, you can see that the deterioration of the pavement here. This is again a 20-foot wide asphalt pavement with, sorry, my hands are a little, with the bar ditches, as you can see, with standing water here. This is on 2nd Street between Church and Vanston. This is 2nd Street between Vanston and Gleason, and then this is a view of Gleason after Brookshire's. So currently on South Main Street, you folks have as Scott Rogers mentioned, that you had these concrete gutters here. And this is just a closer view of what that looks like. It's a full concrete, it almost looks like a concrete channel. What we're proposing is to do, and to save some money, is to propose a concrete flume here, which is about 2 feet wide with grass slopes at 4:1. So I just wanted to show part of the proposed improvements here. This is that first picture on Church. And you'll see that this one here, and the proposed improvements is gonna increase the lane width to 11 feet. So instead of 20 feet of asphalt, it's gonna be 22 feet of asphalt with the grass shoulders with a 2-foot wide concrete V channel. This is another picture of Vanston. So you'll see that this is a 22-foot wide asphalt pavement with some grass shoulders and the 2-foot wide concrete V channel. This is on First Street. I like this picture because it shows you at the driveway connections, we're going to be improving the driveways as well as putting an 18-inch reinforced concrete pipe with concrete headers. This is another view of 2nd Street, just a little north. Again, you'll see that, and then this is Gleason. So with what we are proposing are for the main bid for the Texas CDBG grant is highlighted in this goldenrod streets. This is Church and Vanston. The total cost for these streets is about $608,000. This next slide, I'm going to show you, these are the bid alternatives. So that's the alternative 1 connecting the two streets, Vanston and Church. The second alternative, 3rd, and 4th. And this is just a summary of a preliminary costs of these improvements. So again, this is $608,000. And the overall total is about short of $1.2 million. And so just today, I just wanted to present that to you folks to describe what the South Street and drainage improvements would be for this CDBG project. And I know I saw you folks, the last panel was here. I just wanted to remind you folks that this is our commitment to provide the service to y'all. And as you have any questions?
I have one. Is there a way to break out the difference between the concrete plume and the paving per street?
We currently do that. We do have that.
So you're giving us like alternate two, you give us one price, is it? I'm looking at if we can't afford to do the asphalt paving, what if we go ahead and do the concrete plume now?
We do have the price broken out.
Okay.
We do have bid items.
Okay, we
sorry,
can
line
look at
items
that.
for that.
That's perfect.
Hold on, Mike. I'm gonna use Brad since I can't use him very much longer. Is this, I mean, you're as familiar with this as anybody. These flumes, and I know you obviously you're familiar with what we did down here. Is that gonna, I'm just asking you because you know, is that gonna work? What we're looking at here?
Driveway, elevation, Main Street, Street. First off, it's done design 18. But it ended up not being enough. The other elevation. Drop in. City ordinance requires a minimum of 60. Main Street, 4th Street, we had to reduce some of those. Do a 16-inch culvert, across the driveway, in the road. But what we did on Main Street was finish those off to help that drain. It was purchase grants. The next one in line to continue that street.
Okay.
And
Okay. So this, I know it all ties together, but what we're looking at tonight ties into what we did on Main. It helps continue that process, I'll say.
the other reason picking those streets was Church and Vanston are the two roads that everyone uses to access the elementary.
Yeah.
So we have kids walking up and down the street. We can repair the cracks to some degree, but not, it just needs to be told.
Yeah.
And at the same time, fix that drain.
Okay. Yeah, and if you drive through there when it rains or after it rains, you can drive through most of downtown, unfortunately, but over in that area, it's pretty bad in some places.
Yeah, and the concrete will just keep it from settling.
Yeah.
It might hold water while it's raining or right after it rains, but it'll dry out a
It'll
lot
move
quicker
it.
than.
Yep.
The best way to do it would be a total underground system, but that's astronomical in price.
All right, any questions?
I do have one more. Have we,
Oh, I'm
Fair.
sorry, Mr. Sly. Oh, go ahead, Scott.
have we verified that the 48-inch at the end of that is the rack capacity and we're not overfilling that?
When we enter the design process, we will have to consider that.
Yes, sir.
One of the frustrations I've had throughout my career, there's construction costs and then there's soft. That
Yes, so currently, because this is a preliminary cost, we do have contingency, but as we enter into the design and get to the final design, then we naturally turn into we shrink that contingency because of the unknowns are a little bit better known. And then any leftover money we turn into a owner's allowance. That's set up at the front, and what we are being contracted to, not that number, but yeah. Those are construction costs, yeah. Yeah. So, but I'll just say it for the record, our engineering cost is to design the full system as you saw on the South Streets, even though you may only construct just church and bandstand.
Sure. Any other questions? All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on to item 10. Item number 10, a presentation by Burkhoff, Hendricks, and Carter regarding the new Force Main project.
Good afternoon, Mayor, council members. Andrew Mata, Burkhoff, Hendricks, and Carter. And let me turn this off. Okay. So currently what you have is a lift station that's under proposed, as you all know, a lift station down at the wastewater treatment plant with a force main that's going to be parallel to the Eagle Crest all the way to the North Texas Municipal Water District's Lower East Fork Interceptor System, the LEFIS that we're going to connect. And we had been asked by city staff to revisit that, relook at due to the growth projections and the patterns. We've been asked to go ahead and look at it to see what is there another feasible opportunity to be able to maximize those dollars, make it more financially feasible for the city. And we've vetted that with city staff. We met several times, did some workshop meetings, looked at all the projections, costs, time-wise, and we came up with this alternate, which surprisingly was the original one. But instead of having one lift station, we broke it up into having a north and having a south lift station, so that as you have the growth that is coming in now, that would be conveyed to this north lift station and then be able to be conveyed over to the LEFIS to be able to start into the regional system, if you may. So the blue lines, the blue box, that would be the north infrastructure, and the red box and the red line, that would continue to stay as the southern lift station, southern infrastructure. Some of the work can still remain, as you see where those two lines combine going west. The city has already approached the property owners, as you may already know. So that alignment, those easements, those are still good and useful, but everything to the east would have to start again from new. The city staff has also been approaching that we understand has been approaching the property owners where this new north lift station would be. So there's some incentives for that. So the city communications are ongoing on that. So what we did is we broke up the north projections and the southern projections time-wise, and we know that this is a lot of numbers here, but basically on the left is all the developments that are going into the northern lift station, and then we have about 4,300 lots that would be conveying that effluent to the north lift station. This cost is a breakdown comparing the north and the southern lift station. Initially, we had the 13 million gallons a day infrastructure on the south, and so now by breaking it up, we're able to account for about approximately 5 million gallons a day of effluent going on the north, and then leaving the remainder 8 million gallons a day continuing to go to the south. Here's a snapshot of the timeline. The intent would be to try to get these projects advertised in the fall, and given the contractors about a year and a half of next year to start to be able to complete this. The project would be broken up into two bids, one for the utility contractors for the force main and one for the facility contractors to build that lift station. So the next steps are to try to proceed and get an acceptance, get an approval from council, I believe is my understanding what we're trying to achieve, and then proceed with the design of the changes, and then move forward with the getting this advertised in the fall.
Do we need both of these at the same time?
We do not.
South and the north?
We do
We
not.
need the south right away, right? to the north.
Yeah, the change, if you don't mind going back to where it shows the two stations. The original plan when I came in was to build one massive lift station and force main on the south. But that was assuming full build out for the city. Market has taken a turn and just realized that is not quite financially feasible. So the idea that we came up with was to break it up into two different smaller lift stations, right? We're not saving any money. It's going to cost about the same, but it's more financially feasible because I don't have to come up with $33 million for one massive lift station. I'll only have to come up with half of that. And most of the growth that we're seeing in the city, it's happening over in the north area here. So we really need a lift station here to be able to serve where the growth is happening. Now, in the future, what this is going to do is going to free up capacity at the wastewater treatment plant. And we're also working on another project to be able to reduce the water infiltration into the system so that we can also recover some of the lost capacity as well. And the second or the southern lift station is still going to have to be built, but it's going to allow us to be able to grow our tax base so that we can afford it in the future.
That one's needed for.
Correct. That is
It's
correct.
not needed right away.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Eventually, you'll outgrow your treatment plant. And you're surrounded by floodplain where you can't expand that. You could, but it's very limited. And so the dollars to be able to invest in the treatment plant is just not feasible instead of going regional with eventually being a customer of the district is the goal.
And one thing that we will need to do as staff and council will need to approve, I know that we just went through a impact fee study. Well, we're gonna have to revise it or amend it because the north lift station was not part of that study. So we're just gonna have to go ahead and add it and recalculate our impact fees so that we can utilize impact fee funds to be able to pay for some of it. I'm working on getting assistance grants from other places, but it's only gonna get us so far. We're gonna need to find other ways to be able to fund it as well.
David, Cartwright Ranch will still go down to the southern. Yeah, I know they're on the north side of the highway, but they're going to go down to our current. Like they
Wastewater
wouldn't
plant.
use the north lift station.
They wouldn't, yeah.
Okay.
Cartwright Ranch will still go down to the wastewater treatment plant. And then eventually when the lift station is built on the south, it'll
They'll push it
it'll
back
go
up.
there. Correct, yeah.
Okay. Is there any? This is not tied to this specifically. Anybody in here that might know? Is there any idea on where the big North Texas plant is going to be? Have they figured out a site yet for that?
So they have plants, they're going to expand it.
Yeah, but I thought they were putting in a new.
They're building one in the region, and they haven't officially announced where. I mean, but if we connect the dots, we kind of have an idea of where it's going to be built, just from conversations that I've had with other cities and other stakeholders in the area.
Okay. Very good. Right.
Which it's in the direction that we're putting our force mains
Right.
towards. So, yeah.
Which is
Yes. It would really suck if they built in the opposite direction.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions on this? I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good way to go. I thank you guys for putting that together.
Well, we'll keep going and we'll keep you posted of all the progress through David.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. We'll move on to item number 11, a presentation by Kinley Horn regarding the Eagle Crest Plan Development Commercial Signage Amendment Request. We have anyone here from Kinley Horn?
To push the down button and point pops. Okay.
Hi, y'all. My name is Mike Feather. I'm with Kimley Horn. So I'm here today to talk. I guess we'll start with the first item. I'm here today to talk about the River Ridge Plan Development District, the zoning. So I'm here on behalf of JWS Land. They are proposing a current amendment to the existing zoning that is in place for the River Ridge PD. As you guys know, it kind of encapsulates a lot of the residential portion, and there's a commercial piece along 175 on the west side of town. So what we propose here along it is Walmart and alongside with JWS with the commercial development that is planned to happen in this area. You're seeing a lot of need for signage along the highway. Our goal here today and regarding both of these proposed amendments is related to a type of mixed use or a type of multi-tenant signage that is allowed along the highway. With the way that the current sign ordinance is allowed, there isn't a stipulation for multi-tenant signage. And that kind of, it causes tenants to come in, put in their own sign, and then you've got a bunch of different signs lighting up along the highway. What we're proposing here, you can see this is what Walmart is currently proposing for their property on the north side of 175. There is also some signage that is proposed along 741 at these two locations. If 175 is on the left side of this screen, you can see there's multi-tenant signage planned at the corner of Spring Creek and 175 as shown in blue, and then the other side of Spring Creek and 741 shown in blue on the north side. So to give you guys an idea of what this signage would look like, this is what's kind of being proposed along the highway. And what it does is it allows for day and night signage that really doesn't dice up 12 different users into 12 different signs. It allows for multi-tenants to be able to go in and have their signage, have their highway frontage. Signage when it comes to a lot of these restaurant users that are exploring the area is really important. And so,
One with the anchor store.
absolutely.
The little tabs below are each individual store that's in the mall.
Yeah, 100%. So this kind of gives them an opportunity to have one cohesive design, one cohesive layout, and allow for everybody to get that signage they need along the highway.
Yep.
I think that is it on the. So this is in combination between the Walmart development and the JWS commercial all in one.
Right, David, I'm sure you've looked at this some, and some of you guys that are familiar with this industry. Is this, I mean, I'm thinking of our UDC and you know, how we want the city to look. Is this something that's common, I guess? I mean, I know Scott.
It's pretty common and signage was, the signage is one of the things that I want to bring up.
Okay.
That we've already let two amend theirs, and it only makes sense that for the high top of 175 to see them, we might as well do it all the way down.
Yeah.
That way we don't have the individual ones on the high.
Okay.
We can address.
I know we did an amendment for, I think McDonald's for their height.
We
if
did
I'm not
McDonald's
mistaken.
and Taco Casa.
Okay. Okay.
And so I would agree. I think it's typically common to allow for multi-tenant signage with the way
okay.
that the current ordinance was
They're a
written
lot
with,
cleaner.
yeah.
Okay.
And with the River Ridge PD, this just allows for it to be cohesive.
Sure.
We'd have 15 signs out in front of.
Yeah. No, I want it to
Lined up
look
down
good.
the road if you don't allow this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now this just says presentation. Are we supposed to take action or?
Not tonight. What
Okay.
I wanted to do is give a council a chance to see this, be able to understand it, and before it goes to the planning and zoning, and then eventually the council for final approval, just have the developer give them a chance to present it to the council.
And also, just my part, because this development agreement is from 2021.
Sure.
David wasn't here, I wasn't here. Normally, I would have been a part of some of those discussions about signs. So I felt it was important that city council gets to see it, gets to weigh in. If you have something you don't like, say it, let us know, because you always do have the ability to say, how about something else? Or,
We not have been that to a planned development just a few years ago.
So the development agreement right now states that the signage is going to comport with your UDC.
Yeah.
Your PD ordinance alters that a little bit, but basically that's the problem, that it's taking you back to what your ordinance says about signs, and it really doesn't, your
It gives a
UDC
height
really
and that's
doesn't
it.
think about this type of shopping center.
Right.
So we're going to have to amend that ordinance.
Okay. Well, and I know we're just on item 11, but I think you've kind of walked through 12 as well. I don't need to go. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and go to item 12. Uh, Presentation by Kimley Horn regarding River Ridge Plan Development Commercial Signage Amendment Request. Does anybody have an issue on council with what he's proposed or the renderings we've seen? Yeah, I think so. I don't want it to look like 100 signs, every 100 yards. So
Yep. And so the reason it's split out into the Eagle Crest and River Ridge, it's kind of north and south side.
sure.
So we're ultimately proposing similar items on both sides. That's why there's two items.
Okay.
I do want to an agreement that on the Eagle Crest development, your development agreement says that you guys get to inspect the signs. The city does. So even though we're doing all of this, there's still these other safeguards in place. So
Yeah. No, I'm glad you suggested. I mean, the sooner we know, the sooner we can talk and make sure everybody's on the same page. So
Yep.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
That is
and I'm glad you brought it up that it was two different sides, because we definitely want
Yeah.
both sides of the highway to look the same.
Yeah.
but
Okay. All right. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
So he's got something on that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering, looking at the sign, there's like room for 3 vendors. Is there expansion for?
I think he was just showing a rendering. I think that sign could have 10 vendors underneath it.
Yeah, obviously we don't want to drown the sign, but the goal is to really just all those users that are coming in for the shopping center. I mean, it's a hot commodity, so we want to be able to serve them how we can.
And I've seen them where they do like the Walmart in the middle and then smaller signages and they're stacked side by side.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
guys.
All right, we'll move on to item 13, discuss and possible action on approving resolution number 04062026B, authorizing city representatives in matters pertaining to the city's participation in the Texas Community Development Block Grant Program.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mayor and council. I'm Jake McCows with Public Management. We are the grant administration firm that is assisting the city with this grant. So just kind of recap everything. This is $750,000 grant that the city is receiving from applying to the Texas Department of Agriculture. This is federal HUD money, but it routes through the TDA. It's $750,000. This is a matching grant. The city's match share is $37,500. And so this is a total quote unquote project budget of $787,500. Okay. This goes back to the street reconstruction and ditch reconstruction project that Matt with SPI presented to the council a couple of minutes ago. So this application is due on May 15. The big thing is just figuring out what are we going to do within budget. And so with Brad and David and SPI, as Matt presented, we went through a variety of iterations, okay? And ultimately, reconstructing Church Street and Vanston Street, as Matt presented, staff decided was the absolute most practicable, most effective, and most conservative-minded approach to proceed with at this time. And all of those other street sections, we're going to proceed as alternates, okay? And so our current plan as of now is that Church and Vanston's are going to be the base bid. All right, I went out and I did the beneficiary surveys, make sure that those two streets and all the residents there qualify for this grant. They certainly appear to. There's papers on the mayor's desk that we intend to submit to the TDA tomorrow for them to sign off and agree with all that. And then those will be the base bid. And then as we get closer to bidding this out, we'll rerun the opinion of cost, evaluate with staff kind of how they want to prepare the bid schedule. And hopefully we may be able to award some of those additive alternate sections as well. Okay. This item before you tonight is to approve designated individuals. Okay, there's a couple of different positions with this grant. Specifically, there's the authorized official, which I recommend that be, the mayor, the chief elected official, as well as a senior staff member, okay? The authorized official is authorized to sign contracts, but also to do other tasks within the online, grant management software that we have, which is really the reason that I recommend a staff position. And then we also have designation, two additional positions to authorize payments. Submitting the draw request forms require two individuals to approve those draw submissions in the system. Okay, so there's 4 positions that are included on the resolution tonight. If you have comments, questions about that, certainly happy to address it, as well as the rest of the application process. Assuming that you approve this resolution tonight, we'll be finalizing this application and getting that in by the May 15 deadline. The contract, though, I will warn you, the contract is not expected to officially begin until February of 27. Okay. Hopefully, we'll be able to do the reconstruction in that 27 paving season. Obviously, being so close to the school, we're going to want to kind of coordinate around that with design and everything. But construction is going to be a while out still. Okay. So that's kind of the long and short of it. If you have questions about the project, about the process, about the resolution. Yes, sir.
David, at the last council meeting, didn't we discuss this grant also? A little bit about, the rehabilitation and or new construction of sidewalks. Is that was at the special meeting that we called, for another grant? Another grant? Okay, so
Yeah.
this grant has not, okay.
Anything else?
Any other questions? Okay.
When we decide who's on this, the signers and stuff he was talking about, get the mayor, I'm assuming you, but you said
So
3 or 4 other.
I did draft this. This is my recommendation to council. It is absolutely council's prerogative if you want to change. So this is TDA's resolution, and it's basically fill in the positions that you want. If council wants to designate different positions to serve in these roles, you can certainly do that. Again, it is my recommendation and only a recommendation to have, well, as presented. But if y'all want to change that, we absolutely can.
Are doing this right now. The only thing that I see different in my other cities is on that second one, they've added the finance director. But like you say, they're all pretty much, all these resolutions look the same. And the reason being is that that second paragraph is when it's crunch time and you need the right person in City Hall at the right time. And sometimes
Somebody's
city-
out on vacation or
yeah,
unavailable.
and the city manager's
Yeah.
busy somewhere. So I would just say that if you were thinking about anything that, that might be something you want to do is add an additional person. Should any grant be funded? Because once you're funded, and you probably already know this, but so I'm sorry if I'm repeating it. Once you're funded, you got to go. You don't have time to, they tell you the deadlines, they tell you when you need to do it. And, so kind of live that pain in other cities.
Okay. I've got a motion from Adam. Second from Tim. All those in favor? Thank you, sir.
Thank you all very much.
All right, we'll move on to item 14, discuss and possible action on the proposed fiscal year 2026 agreement for fire protection and suppression services between Coffin County Emergency Service District Number 7 and the City of Crandall for fire services. I know we got some ESD folks here, and I know we were waiting. Did you get a copy of the contract from Aaron or?
I had a conversation last week and we talked about revisions and some of them I agree to. So I sent it back to her today. So
Okay.
I know the attorneys are in the process of finalizing the document.
Okay.
We're very close. For me, the one thing that's hanging is I didn't get any objection to the contract commencing on May 1st. So I'm assuming that the contract commencing on May 1st was acceptable.
Okay.
But I just don't have a final clean copy.
Okay. Um, okay, so we're from the bones of the agreement, we're good. There's just some attorney
Yeah.
stuff.
And
being
David
worked
and I
out.
had a meeting on it too, which I'll let David talk in a minute. But there's nothing major at this point,
Okay.
but David and I came to the agreement that since we don't have it in front of us, we'll just bring it back to the next meeting for final approval.
Okay. Does that work for you?
Mentioned, the language, it was mostly fine. We were going back and forward and some of the wording, but things are pretty much. The main thing that we wanted to discuss with the council was just to make sure that we were okay to start on May 1st. And the reason behind it is just so that we can have a clean start, because the existing agreement that we have with the volunteer fire department, it goes month to month. That way we give them their final payment, and then following month we start paying the ESD directly.
So we'll have it. It should be buttoned up by
I
next
should
meeting.
have a clean copy this week, and I'll have Sabrina share it with all of you because I really do want you all to look at it. And then we'll come back with this item for approval in the next meeting.
Okay.
That would be good.
Okay. Go ahead.
Make a motion to table, item number 14, possible action on the ESD agreement.
Okay. I've got a
Until
motion.
the April,
sorry.
what's the next meeting? April 20th meeting, city council meeting.
Okay. I've got a motion to table from Adam.
Second.
A second from Caleb. All those in favor? Okay. All right, we'll move on to item 15, discuss and possible action on adding speed bumps to Trunk Street between Trinity and North First. I think we're going to have our new guy walk us through this, or it might be a team effort.
It was a team effort. Get it prepared anyway.
You just said it was the last time you were coming back up here. I knew you
That's like
missed
2
us
times
already.
ago.
He missed us already.
Yeah, I did miss y'all. I am gonna miss y'all.
Yeah.
I am gonna miss y'all. I've been doing this 26 years and been through lots of councils and been on a city council, and y'all are working hard for Crandall. I appreciate it. But for Trunk Street, which one's that? Which one's that? Let's try that one. Nope. All right. So on Trunk Street, I know that when I was asked about this, there are some special requirements for to put speed bumps. You can't put speed bumps in the road. They have to be speed humps. So with putting these speed bumps or speed humps in other places in town, the council had to change some ordinance and change some speed limits. There are limits to the posted speed limit on the street to be 25 miles an hour or less to be able to put speed humps on there. And there's a sight distance requirement and signage. So in order to slow the traffic on Trunk, I came up with possible 4 for sure, but possibly 5, just depending upon those sight distances and the distance between each one of those. Because what happened in Willow Lake, we put speed humps in there, and it caused most of the people in there to go from slowing down at the hump and then being able to get 40 miles an hour between the two, and then slow down and then jump that one. And so we ended up having to add some additional ones in Willow Lake around the park. That's why there's so many in front of the park, because everyone's trying to cut the corner and beat the traffic.
Not anymore.
Yes, sure. And those speed humps also have for the way they're rated, and the traffic laws is what regulates those, so that you're not
getting them so far apart that somebody's can get going that fast and hit them and lose control. Because once you put these down, you're liable for a lot of stuff. So just have to be careful where they're placed. And then on Trunk toward Trinity, um, the road's in pretty bad shape on the north side of it. So they may or may not stay. You anchor them the best you can and cross your fingers. But the other option, and these are pretty expensive. For each one of those speed humps, for the speed bump material itself, and the signage requirement, they're about $2,000 a piece for each one of those. We did them in the other areas. The street wasn't quite as wide, so they were a little bit less. But it was $1,910 is what the price would be for each one of those, because each one of the speed bumps requires a speed hump sign ahead or a speed bump on either side of it, so that eastbound traffic and westbound traffic can see those far enough in advance to slow down. The other option was the radar feedback speed limit signs. I know that they're getting more and more popular. They have them in a lot of neighborhoods to help show your speed. Sometimes those visual signs like that help. Sometimes people use them to check their speedometer to see if it's working or see just how fast they can go. So
for the honest people, oh yeah, I am speeding.
Especially with no red light or speed cameras allowed in the state anymore. They're pretty much, there's no consequence.
yeah, but it is an option for that area. And if you wanted to limit that space where the road where Trunk goes from the west side of that bridge all the way to First Street, where the road narrows, to start those speed humps at a different area, a different spot, just to get you slowed down before you get to the bridge, and then all the way to First Street where the school kids are walking. They're expensive.
It's already
They're
25-mile-an-hour speed limit, because
Right,
the
and
city
so-
ordinance is 25. What
Right,
if we
so it's-
what if we just increase police presence on that road? I mean, 148, 15 years ago when I moved here, there was always somebody sitting there. Everybody knew it, so when they hit town, they slowed down. If we put somebody over there now and just made everybody aware, hey, you're gonna speed down this road, you're getting a ticket.
Chief, buy a couple Harleys and start a traffic unit. Yep.
Sit in
You
Caleb's
gotta
driveway.
be sneakier.
Be a sneaker.
I seen Louisiana's using drones now.
So that was the consideration for those. And if we wanted to just reduce that down a little bit and put a few in there to slow you down before you get to the bridge. The bridge slows most everybody down a little bit, but
Yeah.
once you get past that bottleneck, it speeds back
Opens
up.
up.
I'm more for the signage than I am the humps. I think humps are they're a maintenance nightmare, especially if you're trying to put them on a road that's hadn't been designed for it.
From River Ridge South, the first entrance to there, from there all the way to First Street, the street's in good enough condition. You can maintain them there pretty easy.
I think your thing said 8,000 for a hump, and then
They're
Total.
it's $2,000 a piece for $1,910 for those speed humps and signage.
so that road's wide enough, you're gonna have to have three probably, or they're just gonna drive around them.
No, it's that $1,900 includes from edge of pavement to edge of pavement.
Okay.
There's no way you're getting around it.
Okay.
So if
And
you
then
went,
but then you have to stripe and you have to do signage.
only signage. The hump itself comes with retro reflective material that if you went through Willow Lake or over by the park, it's those, we'd put in the same ones.
Over there, kind of in that area, that road between, the south end of River Ridge and all the way to Trinity is already so bad, you gotta drive, or at least I just have to drive slow because it's not a smooth road. And we'll always have to stop there at the bridge because there's someone else coming. We're always stopping there. To me, this doesn't make a lot of sense, but maybe I'm one of the few that drives slow on that road, but that road's not a nice smooth road that's easy to get going fast on.
But for every one person that's driving the speed limit 25 miles an hour over there, from us doing a water line project over there, for every one that's driving the speed limit, there's 10 that are going 40.
David, have we got a lot of complaints?
Yeah. Casper, yeah.
So just to let you know, this was a council request to be added on the agenda, and I wanted to add it to be able to have a discussion just to see what how council would like to move forward, if everybody was okay with the speed bumps, or you guys wanted to see a different potential solution for this one.
If any of the citizens called and said, hey, you gotta do something to slow these people down, or
I would like to do a poll or something in that neighborhood over there just to see how many citizens are on her side and how many people.
I'm the one who asked for the request, so I'm gonna speak my mind. And I've talked to my neighbors, most of them directly. The specialists were right there by the bridge. It is not. Traffic's one thing, because you got people passing back and forth. But there are a lot of people who do walk that road in the evening. There are a lot of kids that walk home and they cut from Meadow Creek across the gas easement onto Trump. And it is amazing how fast people will get going in the afternoons, especially because it's usually the traffic coming from Trinity back towards First. It's well over 40. A while back, I know Chief tried to set up over there a couple of times. It's difficult. It's wide open. You can see them. But I mean, I can be standing in my driveway, and I have an 8-year-old. I never let him out on the street unless I'm standing at the end of my driveway. And I can yell distance wise for him to get off the road or get back to the driveway. It's highly dangerous. I mean, I'm being honest. And it's just they see the open road and it's gunning 100%. So it was my ask, and I believe it's a safety issue, and I don't know any other way to slow it down. There's split stop signs, the whole stretch. I mean, it's limited options as far as what we can do to try to reduce the speed through there.
When the police department trailer was over there, did it help any?
Didn't help at all.
No.
I mean, people look at it a couple times. They all know, like Adam mentioned, zero consequences, kind of like the signs that's, is my, I put bigger tires on my vehicle and doing 25 according to the sign in my, my speedometer type situation. But
That's some redneck stuff.
yeah, you can hear them.
There's still some in Crandall.
You can hear them coming. I mean, that's kind of the deal too. It falls to that valley, and you can hear them from one end to the other. And I don't care if it's a truck or car.
I think, let's look at your point if there's
Too bad. Let's look at maybe placing some after the bridge. You think would that help? Or do you think we should do
Man,
it the whole way?
I agree. Some people go the speed limit, but there's a lot that, man, it's just.
and it might be the point where once you get past Sabine, that first entrance, if we could just slow them down before the bridge,
Right.
and then after the bridge, and then that one before First Street, and I can look at those distances and find out if that's feasible or not.
I mean, I'm open to not 100% set on anything, but it's just becoming, it's an increasing danger.
out of tolerance. Let's take a 5-foot section of that road and put it in tolerance before we put them down.
And that on the CIP list, that is one of the roads, that western section past the bridge is one of those that would be on the CIP list for reclaim and replace. So
Yeah, but it's probably gonna be a little whiles away. And I know we're fixing to start doing the Mallory Road project, stuff like that. We could get those guys to throw in a 5-foot strip over there. Cheaper than mobilizing a whole brand new company.
mhm.
Speed humps along Trunk Street, pending an evaluation of the tolerance of the roadway.
Second from Tim. All those in favor? You can vote.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Just
I don't want to be, I don't want to be,
All right, thank you, sir. Move on to item 16, executive session. Council will hold executive session pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 551, the Texas Government Code, in accordance with the authority contained therein. Executive session, Texas Government Code, Section 551.087, deliberation regarding economic development, TER 6, and Project Grand Slam. If I can get a motion to go into executive.
Motion.
I got a motion from Adam. Second from those in favor. All right, and that is at 7:57. Are you good to go back there when you stay here? You all right?
I'm good. I'm supposed to walk. Okay. That's one thing I'm supposed to do. Doing what?
Hey, is he supposed to be crouching down, putting cords into outlets? Running cords into outlets?
Not supposed to carry that.
No, probably not.
Heard it for 3 days because going somewhere, she's had 2 gallons of paint back of the car since we started that remodel. You know, but so I grabbed one of each cans because they said I could carry a gallon of milk. That's it. But I have one of each can. take any action, right?
No. Not that I'm aware of. All right, let's move on to item 17, open session. Council will now adjourn from executive session, reconvene into open session pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 551 of the Texas Government Code, and take action, if any, on items discussed during closed executive session. If I could get a motion to adjourn from executive session and reconvene open session?
Motion.
I got a motion from Adam and a second from Scott. I don't believe there's any action on item 17, so I'm going to move on to item 18. If I can get a motion to adjourn, I've got one from Adam and a second from Caleb. All those in favor? All right, thank you.
Wait a minute, I didn't hear you read that last one.
You didn't gotta give you a chance.